All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo. My favorite season, the golf season, is back. The favorite season of the year for many out there, I know, is the PGA DFS season, and it's our first ever full PGA season here at the Nation. SHIPIT Nation started in May of 2023, I should say, May 15th last year. So we got a little bit of the golf action in. We're going to go through all of that on today's show. I know many here, I'm already seeing in the chat, when I'm not here to talk about Scotty Scheffler's putter today, we're going to talk to you guys all things SHIPIT Nation, PGA, lots of talk out there in the streets, on social media, people talking about competitors' pricing and things that are going on. We're going to get to all of our offerings, the content, the shows, everything else. If you guys want breakdowns on the Century, I recorded a season preview and Century podcast with my guy, Kenny Kim, the Fantasy Golf Degenerates, sponsored by SHIPIT Nation. You guys can go check that out. Right now, it's on the Mayo Media Network as well as on all the podcast feeds. Shout out to our guy, partner in crime, Degenerate75, doing a lot of great content. He was on the Mayo Show already, the one that I'll be on usually in studio starting next week and beyond on Wednesdays. He did the show with Mayo this week, getting pumped up for the Century, and then we'll always put you towards his Wednesday evening show. I think it's the best in the industry. You're going to be able to get all kinds of information there related to weather, final roster construction, all of that. But we want to bring my guy Hoop in. We want to break down the entire PGA season that we're going to have for you guys here over at SHIPIT Nation. Lots of stuff out there in the market. Hoopster, I'll bring you in, man. Excited for PGA, excited for everything we're about to talk about today. I think it's going to be some good stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like we've been at this for a lot longer than like 6-7 months. You know, it was May when we launched. We missed the beginning part of the PGA season last year. I mean, our PGA product was the first product that we started working on here at SHIPIT Nation. Now this is going to be, you know, an entire season of improvements. Obviously, we've made some additions, we've made some improvements to our product as well, so we're going to get the full season here. So very, very excited. If you haven't done so, if you haven't heard about it, myself, Tambo, recorded a 2-hour education course that you will get access to, and we'll talk about that as well. But 2 hours covering all the topics of PGA DFS, and you know, that's one of those things where, you know, people in this industry talk about doing, oh, you know, we want to help people get better, we're going to teach them, we're going to have courses. And that's, you know, one thing that we've always said from the beginning. We're not just going to talk about things, we're going to back it up. And then that's one area, assuming you're pulling it up here, but that's one area where we have gone ahead and just backed it up. So that's like the starting point for this PGA season, getting on, listening to the education course segmented by topic. You can go through if you only want to learn about, you know, satellites and, you know, roster construction, whatever you want to learn about, you can hit those spots. So I'm very excited, obviously, for our PGA product. You know, we're going to go through and kind of talk to you guys about what it entails, what you'll have access to, and a weekly plan. And one thing that we're very, very, you know, it's very high on our list in terms of priorities is getting our content out nice and early on time. So you have the ability to go in there, start building your teams. You can come into our Discord community, which is, I think, the most friendly Discord community in the industry. Basically no issues. Everyone's friendly, helpful. Get in there, talk through it. A lot of good nuggets in there, not only from our team, but also from our members as well. So very excited to get this started. And we have a few surprises here on deck for everyone that's tuning in.
Yeah, we got some giveaways as well. We just posted our first giveaway. It's for members only, the first one. It's in our Discord already. But if you join and become a member after watching the show, don't do anything just yet. But if you join and become a member, you'll be able to join that free roll this week as well. It's going to be for the $200 entry to the Mayo One and Done, $80,000 up top, very balanced payout structure over at Fantasy Golf Championships. So more on that later on. We'll also be giving one away to somebody here today. We'll be giving away some memberships on this show. So just lots of action. Going to try and keep it under an hour like we always do, going through everything. If you're not watching this live, you're watching it on playback. If you want to fast forward to the end, you can, but you'll miss a bunch of what we're offering here and what we're going to go through and show you. But like Hoop said off the top, that course, as we always talk about, you do get included with any membership. So right now, we recorded the course. When you get any membership, again, hang off on that. But when you do, you will get it. We go through the process, roster construction, live finals, and qualifiers. It's different in the PGA streets. So we'll go through that in a second. Showdown, tons of money to be made in the Showdown streets, but just to show it off here. And then, of course, our member Q&A. We also will have a Q&A at the end of this show. I'll try and get some questions throughout if you guys have them about our offerings, but on the site, it's pretty straightforward. If you go to shop education, we've already done courses, 4 hours actually, for NFL. People had a ton of success with that one. NBA is full swing right now. Our projections have been top notch. Had somebody else win $30K the other night in the big main there. It's been all season long so far in NBA. And then we just recorded this one for PGA, and it covers all kinds of different topics. It's free to go to the site and check this out. People struggle, I know, with roster construction, so we cover that. The live finals are quite different for PGA. It's a 3-round playdown qualifier. There's 11 qualifiers this week. 11 of the 300 seats will be won this week alone just for the Century, and it's totally different. And if you want to know first about even playing the satellites and being able to get into these where people like myself, others have had a lot of success, tons of our members have had success in this format. Our guy Todd is in the Discord. He actually won the Fantasy Golf World Championship last season. Lots of good stuff there, but then it's about if you get in and can go from there. Talk about that. And then, of course, like I mentioned, the Showdown stuff, there's just a ton, but Hoop, I'm going to kick it back to you. Like, this is the biggest thing, right? I'll start with this, and then I'll kick it back to you, is we had a lot of people talking about this past week on Twitter and everything out there about the PGA DFS stuff, and not as much as excitement about it, and it's expensive to get in and get in on the action for one sport, but people love it. It's a seasonal sport. I started off even, back in the day when I was working full-time Monday to Friday, some Saturdays in sales, all that stuff, I would still be playing NFL DFS and PGA DFS. And the reason I love the crossover of the two is because, to me, I called them like weekly sports. I know golf with the Showdown streets has got a little bit more busy, but you can still do it at night. You get home, see the kids, the family, whatever it might be, your time is limited. You can still register for some Showdown contests the next day and be able to hop in there. So I think, that's the biggest thing for me is you have, get the information on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at your convenience. Get the lineups in Wednesday evening later on. Be ready to go for Thursday when it locks. You get a ton of sweat equity. You get the late withdraw sweat equity. Hopefully we don't have many of those this season, but it's there. Then you get the Friday cut sweat. Then hopefully you get the sweat for Sunday if you got something going on. You get the ownership sweat. You want to know what everybody's owned on that. It's just a fun sport to play. But what people keep saying is obviously, a lot of these sites, ours included, we've made a promise to keep prices extremely low, but you get all the sports. You get NFL. We have NBA we just talked about. PGA, we'll get into our offering soon. MMA we brought on, just incredible stuff with MMA. NHL's in full swing. Nade's in the team there with Boomer's Projections, just doing a ton. MLB was awesome when we had it going on. And then if we add any more sports, which, spoiler alert, we might soon, that there is going to be other sports that you get that come with the All Access. But a lot of people said, Tambo, I followed you from golf, or I always wanted yours and Hoop stuff for golf, and that's all I wanted. So I'll kick it to you, Hoop, let you deliver some of the conversation around this on how we want to go about handling things, because we did start after the golf season was in full swing. We weren't open until May. Obviously, golf gets going in January right now, and some of the biggest stuff pops up. Waste Management Phoenix Open, more on that later, but first week of February, right as the Super Bowl is going on. So what's your take on that, your thoughts, and then you could sort of intro it to where we're going here today.
Yeah, so PGA DFS, first off, it's a lot of fun. And, we talked about it a lot in the education course, and you kind of laid it out there where, you get the pricing on Monday. You can kind of digest a lot of the content Tuesday, Wednesday, start building your teams. Then the goal is obviously to have that sweat going into Sunday, because it's a good feeling to wake up Sunday morning, know you have some teams live. You can sit back. Hopefully the coverage is good. Sometimes it's, hit or miss in terms of the PGA coverage on TV, but you sit back and you get the sweat, then you can do it all over starting on Monday. And in that education course, we talked about that, the process, like building a process, how important it is to build a process, what some different processes look like, what people do, what you and I do for our process. Just a fun sport. So in terms of what we're offering here, we've always made a commitment at SHIPIT Nation to keep our content cheap and affordable for people. We want people to be able to use our content, but not sacrifice the amount of money that they're able to play contests with on DraftKings or FanDuel, whatever site you're playing on. We don't want to take your money so you can't play as much and lower your ability to win. I mean, if you're paying a premium for PGA content, big buck, because some of the stuff is like way out there. I mean, some of the price tags on this content, you're talking $600 to $700 for what I think would be like a skim amount of content, just projections, which projections are just one piece of the pie, which we'll get to later. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into PGA DFS than just projections. Variance in PGA is through the roof. So if you just go in and just look at projections, you're probably going to get your ass kicked all season long. And to be honest with you, even using our projections, I'll be honest with you, even if you're coming in, you're saying, I just want their projections, I don't want any of the other content, you'll probably get your ass kicked all season. So that's just one part of the overall piece. But again, going back to the pricing on things, we want to make it cheap. One thing we've always said with all our sports, you pay less for content, you're able to play more DFS contests, which gives you the ability to potentially win more money. Doesn't matter what we add on. Doesn't matter the sports. It doesn't matter the people, which, you know, we have a very lean team over here and we're going to remain with a lean team moving forward. We're keeping our prices low, industry low. Our all-in price, cheapest in the industry. We're going to talk about our PGA pricing. It's going to be the cheapest in the industry, and it gives you a chance to get some content because content is important in this industry. We've always said it. It's very important. Like, there's so much information out there. Like, you need to have a spot that you trust, right? You have to have a spot that you trust to get content. We give our members and future members the ability to get an all-encompassing product for an industry low price tag. And that's a commitment we've made to ourselves. Me and Tambo ourselves have made that commitment. You know, no matter what, if I come in tomorrow and say, Tambo, we got to raise prices 15%, he's going to look at me and say, who? Get the hell out of here. If he comes to me and says, hey, we got to raise our prices X%, I'm going to say, Tambo, get the hell out of here. It's not happening. So very excited to kind of release our plans for our PGA packages, content and all that. But man, be careful out there. Don't just blindly say, I'm going with this price tag, because these price tags are getting way, way, way up there, man. And it's, you know, a couple people in the chat have used the term price gouging. It's expensive.
Yeah, so Hoopster kind of popped the bubble without actually popping it completely. So I'll finish the job for him, because when we started, this was the key. We have, same as we do right now, if you go to our site right now, there is weekly, monthly, there is 6 months, and there is annual. It includes every sport that we cover and any that we add. So if we add NASCAR, you will get NASCAR included in this for the projections, the ownership, any of the tools, rankings, core reports, things like that we bring over. Hoop, without further ado, obviously drop the hammer here on you guys. Now, when you go to our site, and we didn't have this before, but we said we would try it. PGA makes a whole lot of sense. As CK Fly says here, it's actually 8 months. It starts this week, the first week of January, and it does not end until September 1st, which is the end of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Again, how you want to go about it, that's fine, but not many people have this. There was threads and polls and things out in the industry last week about pricing, and they're saying, yeah, SHIPIT would be pretty good if you got the entire season for $5.99 and you got everything. But what if you just wanted PGA? And so that was our number one thought. So I'll pull it up here, Hoop. We'll release it off the top and then talk through some of this. But we are going to offer a PGA-only product. We'll get through all the stuff. We wanted to be very careful about this. We know some people got in at certain prices out of the gate, but if you guys can see it here quickly, just to cover that up, there is some crossed out prices. We'll go through it in a second. I'm going to break it down. You can ask questions in the chat if you have them. We are going to do this the exact same way we did the original launch of the site. This is going to be for 1 week. This original pricing of the monthly and the season are going to be for the first week, like our founding family deal. And the reason is somebody who got the founding family pricing at $49 for the month when we first launched, it's no secret, you can go back and watch the video. When this is $39 for just PGA, it still smashes the industry. There's people charging $39 a week for PGA content right now. We're going to be $39 a month, and we'll always have a code of 10% off that you can get between any of our partners that you'll be able to use. More on that in a second. Don't do anything yet. So just to note this, up front, $34 a month, $199 for the entire 8-month season. It works out to $5 per event if you just call it the 40 events that this is. Again, $239 is crossed out. So remember this. When we put up the code in a second and you want to go sign up, you are going to get 10% off. So we're actually going to leave it at $179 to get in for the entire season. There's places out there right now charging $299, $350, $599, whatever they want to charge. I don't go at them as hard because it's whatever. It's to their own right to charge whatever they want. But I will say this, from our entire All Access product, from our entire NFL season that you guys saw, there was no sacrifice in the quality. And I'm biased, but I would think that ours is better because we saw the results. Every single week, you were seeing threads of not just Hoop, myself, and the rest of our team winning. You were seeing all kinds of members and why the community grew as much as it did. And I'll tell you what, even those that didn't win in PGA, they, first of all, did not pay near the prices they would have paid at other places and could have still lost anyway, but they picked up a ton of information between the education courses, the day-to-day in the Discord of being able to learn from others that are working on getting better. It will apply at some point. It's just like anything else. You have to pay your dues and then your time comes. It's no guarantee. Nobody in the industry can guarantee you that, but that's also why you should not be paying these prices. Some are charging, like you said, $5.99. That's their right. I think other sites have good stuff. I don't talk bad about my competitors. I talk good about my stuff and Hoop stuff and our stuff to be able to help you guys out. But I will say this pricing is set up in a way to get you the best deal possible. So very clear, and then I'll kick it to Hoop on pricing. $14 for the week. You can get All Access for $24 a week. I still think you should do that, but I recognize some people only need the coverage for PGA. It's a fair price. We know that. $34 for the month. You can get our All Access for $69 a month. It's about half the price, and it's for one, but it's an 8-month sport. I mean, this is going on. You're paying a month. You can come in at the Players Championship and get the Players, the Masters, and the events in between. You could come in at the PGA Championship and get 3 more events in between and the US Open, 2 majors. But we're suggesting you sign up now, beat the heat, get out there and beat the rush, get the best pricing possible. You will get 10% off the $34 or 10% off the $199. Nothing off the weekly. Weekly still does not come with Discord. This is a good question, Hoop, and then I'm going to kick it to you. We have it set up so that when you sign up for PGA only, you get all the PGA channels, which is the PGA Access channel, but you get the general, the announcements, the notifications, all of that, but you do get the PGA only channel. You're still in the Discord as long as you go for the monthly or the season-long package. $179 works out to $4.50 per event if you sign up for this. Next week, after the Sony locks and these prices jump to $39 and $239, you still won't get gouged. It's still way cheaper than the rest of the industry. You'll still be able to get $24 off the season-long package and get it for cheap. You just won't be able to get it for $179 anymore. You won't be able to get it for $30 for your first payment off and then renew at $34. It'll be $39 with 10% off and then renew at $39. So Hoop, talked a lot there, but I want to be clear. If you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. But I like Jack's comment, our boy Jack. No crap here. Genuine, extremely helpful. This is how we've always said it would be. This is how we did our original launch. There's nobody just hopping in the ring, making this stuff up. This is how it's been from day one. And our reputations and credibility from before here should stand on their own, I think. So, Hoop, I'll kick it to you on this pricing. We spent a lot of time making sure of this, that our original members would still be in good shape on their original pricing, covering everything. And then now anybody who wants to hop in the ring for just PGA can do so. If you're on $69 a month for NFL and you're done with us, you can now just move over to a PGA package if that's really all you were in for. There's lots of ways that you can go about it, but we've got you covered for all of them. Hoop, kick it over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I think it's a really good comment from Jack, because it's like, the conversations that you and I have behind closed doors. I mean, there's no crap here. This isn't us, trying to sell you on some bullshit product or pricing. I mean, this is the cheapest. I mean, this is the bare minimum price. Like, there's just no doubt about it. Like, this is super, super cheap. Yes, we could have charged a hell of a lot more money. We could come in and say it's now $22 for the weekly and $48 for the monthly and $270 for the season long. We'd probably make more money. We honestly would probably make more money and get very similar number of people signing up, to be honest with you. We've looked at all the numbers. We'd be able to sell this crap. Have you heard Tambo on shows? He could come and sell you anything you want. But that's not what we're about. This is pricing where, again, you're paying less for content and you're able to play more DFS contests, which is what we want. We're passionate about PGA. We have all the stuff that the other sites have. We have it all. We're going to go through everything that we have. Other sites, you got to have these projections. You got to have this guy. You got to listen to this one guy talking about PGA, and then the other 8 guys are going to give you their plays. And very direct, easy to digest content. You know who you're getting it from. You know what you're getting each week. week in, week out. You know what you're getting from us. Cheapest all-in price in the industry. I mean, there's really just nothing else to be said about it. I mean, these prices speak for themselves, and we're going to go through and show you guys, everything that this does entail. So, I mean, if you are in the market for PGA DFS content and you're looking for reliable, trusted people, I just don't know how you find anything better than this. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, and that's we're excited about it. Everyone joking about my sales and stuff like that. Sell me that pen, the ketchup pops. I mean, you guys have watched me. Many of you out there have watched me for years on all these things. My passion is probably unmatched when it comes to this stuff. I get very.
That's what I'm saying. We could double these prices. You'd be able to go on a show and you could sell it, and we'd probably end up with the same number of people if you were that sort of person, right? If you were that sort of person, you could make it happen.
It's honestly, it's better that just to do it this way. We always have talked about it. The community's been phenomenal the whole way. Everyone's going to start talking about that now across the industry, and I understand it. But the bottom line is this: even if you think our stuff sucks and you're like, oh, they're undercutting the market, but they don't have the best stuff, well, go figure it out. Is their stuff 4 times or 3 times better than ours? Because the pricing is that much more. So I think it's the best stuff. I'm biased. The big thing I want to talk about, though, quickly, Hoop, before we get to the actual stuff we cover, is I guess it'll lead into kind of what you wanted to mention, like the projection stuff. I'm very big on projections across all sports and look at them for everything. Way bigger on NFL, NBA, more than most sports. NHL, I think they're really handy. But other stuff, it's like, for example, our MMA team has been incredible. Title is the man, Marley, all the guys helping out, you, Hebrew, the rest of the guys in the chat, the Discord is awesome. We got the best team when it comes to that. But I think the game theory matters. Like I pick up things when I'm in the MMA slate plan or the fight rankings, stuff like that, and I'm picking things up that our team is putting. That's our differentiator. Not our first differentiator is very obvious. It's price. We don't charge you near what the industry charges you for that. We're not acquiring talent and bringing people in. We're acquiring actual value and bringing it and returning it back to you. We say less is more. I think our team is very strong as is. We have some of the best players in the industry. We just don't have hundreds of them or bringing in a bunch of them. We say it the best when we talk about the less you pay, the more you play. The less you can put into content, but you're not sacrificing anything. You're still getting the best stuff out there. You're able to get it. And if you don't think it's the best, it's 1/4 of the price in most cases. So do your thoughts on that. But just to bring it in again, when you set it up this way and get everything that we have there in all in one spot, you're able to have everything that you need. With projections, the benefit is, I think our other differentiator is bringing in the game theory and the leverage. What's everyone else doing? You guys know when I do my tidbits threads, if you follow those, I read and look at everything else in the industry. I combine and formulate the thoughts, and then I talk about how we can win at DFS, not who this best golfer is at this and who does it. We talk about some narratives and some things for the content purposes, but the main focus is always how are we attacking this slate to beat the rest of the industry? That's where projections can come in handy. How do you think we find out who the late steam is when we adjust our ownership projections? How do you think we find these things out? Our projections like this guy, the rest of the industry's projections like this guy's getting boosted. Well, if this, then that. That's what we're actually talking about, not just this guy versus that guy or why you should play someone. It's a lot of other stuff related around that. So, Hoop, do you want to get into the content now? And we can come back to the pricing and stuff like that people want to bring up as they go along. I mean, Beetlebane says it here too. Helps so much with your process, but building a process is a process in itself. This is what we do and complement perfectly. I think that's like us putting the courses together and all of that, which a reminder, it's right down here at the bottom, the education course, but the course does come for free when you sign up. So when you join any membership, even if you just join us for the first week and want to take the course, go ahead. You actually can do that because it's live on the site and you have full access to it to check it out. So that's just my thoughts on that. Do you have anything else there that you wanted to add?
Yeah, I wanted to just add on because I've been at this for probably just as long as anyone in the industry in terms of the business side, the playing side. Fell in love with PGA DFS years ago. I mean, I've been playing it for, I don't know, since it started on DraftKings. I don't even know when that was, but when DraftKings started offering PGA, I started playing. So if someone knows the date on that, that's when I started playing. I've been playing from that point forward. The one thing about PGA DFS that is very, very unique, the variance is very, very high. You have to hit on a ton of different angles every single week in terms of what you're looking at, what you're doing with your process. I mean, there's so much that goes in to PGA DFS. I'd say arguably more so than any other sport. You can look at course history. You can look at recent trends. You can look at how a guy's been playing. You can look at recent form. You can look at the courses. You can look at the putting surfaces. You can look at projections. You can look at rankings. You can look at core plays. You can look at whatever the hell you want to look at, and it all can be a piece to that pie. But the one thing that I see so much in this industry, people trying to sell you on one piece of that pie. They have this guy doing projections, and the only way you can win at PGA DFS is if you get this guy's projections, because he knows it all. So if that guy knows it all, wouldn't you see his DraftKings or FanDuel name at the top of the leaderboard every single week? No, it doesn't happen like that. Projections are one piece of the pie. So when people are charging you an extraordinary amount of money for PGA projections, that is wrong. Here's another example you always see. Well, we brought on this guy now. We brought this guy onto our team, and he knows so much about PGA DFS that you need to come follow him, because he is going to make you a winner at PGA DFS. Just one guy or a team of people. We're bringing on this group of people to cover PGA DFS. Now you have to come to us because these guys know it so well. If that was the case, wouldn't those guys be at the top of the PGA DFS leaderboards every single week, week in, week out? Simply not the case. PGA DFS, a lot of different aspects, a lot of different things that you need to be looking at, a lot of different pieces of content. Yes, projections are important. The team is important, but those are just small pieces of the puzzle. So don't get roped into one of those schemes where they're saying you have to have this, now pay me this price. Not how it works. I've been doing this longer than anyone, can tell you that is the case. So there's no secret sauce to this. There's no secret sauce to PGA DFS. High variance is involved. No doubt about it. I've seen it. I've been playing it longer than anyone. Have to look at everything, not just one thing.
I agree. I also have to say the secret sauce code, because people are already paying us $199 in the inbox, which I'm just responding to now. We'll get you back the money. We always do. We make sure you get the best deal possible. So for those that already just went and blindly bought it before we even put the code up, thank you. We appreciate you, but make sure we'll respond to you. We'll get you that discount back. But if you want to get in, make sure you use code PGA10. I was going to go back and forth. We got going on it. Hoop gets passionate about that stuff, and I'm with him. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here. But just to note, make sure to use code PGA10 for the rest going to buy now, because that's going to be the way you save the money. So those that already bought, we'll get it back to you, but just want to keep that in check before we go on. Hoop, let's talk about shows real quick. We did this, for the rest of the all access stuff. We've never had a premium or paid show. It's not to say we couldn't in the future, but just to say it, right now we have all these free shows. So I'll talk about it quickly and then get your thoughts on it, but just to get a breakdown of it. So just so you guys know, our show schedule coming up on Mondays, a new show that I'm extremely excited for. Talked about him earlier. Our friend and partner, Degenerate75, James is the man. Him and I did a first look for NFL every Tuesday. We're going to convert that to Monday for golf, and it's going to be right around when pricing comes out. We're hoping that DraftKings can stick to some sort of similar setup there, but Degenerate75, myself, will do the DraftKings first look show, reactions, pricing. Maybe we pull up the betting board, little things like that. Keep it interactive with you guys. If you have early questions, I'll go for that. So we will definitely still have that. That's a free show. The first one's going to be for the Sony Open on the Degenerate75 YouTube channel, and then it's going to rotate weekly which channel it's on, our station, his station, back and forth. We'll always post the links in the Discord for members. You'll always be able to see under shows on the site, and that's a good point to say it here. Our next show that we'll have on Mondays is myself and Kenny Kim doing the one many know us from, or know me from especially, is the Fantasy Golf Degenerates. That podcast will be every Monday. That's sponsored by SHIPIT Nation. It'll be the same structure as always free out on the Mayo Media Network. Then on Tuesdays, Hoop and myself, around 3 p.m. Eastern, I think it's going to be. We're going to confirm that and get it in there exact, but I think that's what it's going to be. We're going to have the SHIPIT Nation show where we'll get a lot more information by then, right? We'll have all the stuff on some more early ownership. Our initial projections will be up. So again, everyone's all hyped on these secret projections. Our projections are solid. We're excited about them, but I think we would even be able to show that. Hoop, like on Tuesdays, we could probably bring up the early look, the early ownership, and see what's going on. We'll have it up. I know other sites don't drop their stuff till Wednesdays. We will have ours up on Tuesdays. So even if you just want to play around with it, I still suggest waiting till Wednesday evening. As our friend and partner Degenerate75 likes to say, have you built those yet? You know, what's the first mistake people make? Building their lineups too early. Definitely a part of it. We'll direct you there on Wednesday evenings, but on Wednesday mornings, I go in studio with Mayo, just like the Friday NFL show, where we do a sort of closer to lock. I mean, it's still the morning, so it's not the final stuff, but better ownership, update on kind of what people are doing with their lineups. We look at roster construction, breaking it down, trying to get different, what the field is doing, and how we can adapt and get different. So That's our show breakdown. Like we said, on Wednesday evenings, we'll direct everybody to the Degenerate 75 stream where he's breaking down his stuff. As always, maybe some fun stuff there in the future that we can work out, but definitely, an awesome show that you guys want to see. Hoop, give me your thoughts. No premium show over here required, right? We've got everything else covered.
Yeah, that's kind of why we're doing our main show on Tuesday. We can kind of go through, look at, like you said, those projections, the early look at the projections, the early look at some ownership, talk through the guys that we're kind of eyeing. And then obviously, for me personally, I like to do all my PGA content like Wednesday morning, get everything up nice and early Wednesday morning, start building those teams. And then I always think, man, like the Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, like when it's on the West Coast, a lot of times they don't start until 11 Eastern. That Discord time is so valuable. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and get a lot of little tidbits. I know you do a good job of digging through the industry stuff and finding little pieces of information. Our members in our Discord do as well. So that's very, very valuable time, and honestly, reason why you should look into a monthly over a weekly package, so you can be in there in the Discord with our community, not only us, but our community. We have a lot of sharp people in there, sharp, like-minded people, helpful people. It's just such an important aspect, kind of goes into the overall process. But yeah, our main show will be on Tuesday, and same place, same time. We start our shows on time. You know what you expect. There's not going to be any big surprises. Oh, I thought I was getting Hoop and Tambo today. I'm getting Joe and John instead. Like that doesn't happen over here. So excited for the shows to kick off.
Yeah, so we're going to keep it that way for sure. Let's talk a little bit about the content then, Hoop. I know it's all listed here, so it's easier to do it this way. I'll show some of it off when we get there, but just starting, obviously our guy Boomer is on top of the projections and ownership. So I'll start there. I had them up here earlier. We'll share it. This is for the Century. They already went up earlier this morning or mid-afternoon, I guess. Tag the channel and let them know, but it'll have a last projections update. It's simple. It's got the golfer, the salary, their projection, the ownership with the first run, the updates, all linked to that, and then the point per dollar if you're just looking for somebody in a range, right? And you want to say, okay, who's the guy that I want to have there? You'll be able to get all that coverage and more, and then we'll be talking about it in the Discord as it goes on throughout the week. So that's going to be your PGA ownership setup there. And then our guy Lee, we brought Lee Aldrich over, formerly of Fanshare Sports. Really good dude. Awesome stuff that he puts out. He had an under the radar DFS article that he used to do. We've changed the name on here to the Value Report. And basically he puts out his 6 golfers in the lower end range that you can get after to help build your lineups. He uses what we've converted to the SHIPIT Nation course fit rankings. And I'll show you those because they're another piece that comes with the membership, PGA only or all access. Like I said, still the way to go is if you want to save the most to get more for your money, have all these sports covered. That's the way to do it.
And didn't you, during the swing season, you shipped a contest just strictly off the, was it the course history report?
Course history, course fit rankings, not course
fit, right? Yeah. So do you built the team like with the top 5 or 6 out of the top 8 guys and ended up shipping?
Yeah, I just used the 10 and Sean's here. I mean, there's other people in the chat. I'm sure that again, some may watch it on playback, but I know Sean was in there. We definitely used. I shipped my second King of the Desert seat. Sorry, just off using them on one of those off weeks because this is what Lee does, and that's why I was just so excited to have his stuff over here. So his course fit rankings are for everybody that qualifies. There is certain pieces that go into it, but it's just a unique tool and a way to find guys that you can build off of and really have some success with. So it's definitely another huge piece. I'm excited to see that for the regular season, just another added tool that you can bring in. And then also too, just going back to it, Hoop, we can just talk about some of the other stuff here. Why don't you talk about the tier rankings, the core reports, the player pools, and then I'll talk about the slate plan as well.
Yeah. So the tier rankings, was something that I believe we didn't, when we first launched, I don't think we had tier rankings, and we're like, you know what, we kind of talked through it and we're like, this is something that we both enjoy doing. It can be very helpful. So basically we break it up into the top tier, middle tier, value tier, and depending on some of the events, change what the pricing standards are for each one. But, our 2 favorite guys up top, 2 favorite guys in the middle, 2 favorite value type plays. And the reason I think this can be helpful is if, man, you're going through and you're building out a lineup, you have 1 spot left and you can't decide, who you like in that range, you can kind of go to the tier ranking and say, oh man, Hoop and Tambo both like Keegan Bradley in this range, I'm going to roll with them this week. And, you could build out. There are a lot of weeks where you could build out a team. I know you and I try to do it each week, like build out a team from the tier rankings. That's been very successful as well. So a lot of different ways you can use tier rankings. Very excited for that. Core report is going to be our core plays essentially for the week. DraftKings, and then we have cash as well. So you'll be able to see the guys that are in our cores in our main lineup, little write up why we like them. And then what's the next thing on there?
Just your player pool. The last thing is your player pool.
Yeah,
so you actually do highlight some cash plays in there as well. And I'll talk more on that in a second. I'll let you run with it first.
Yeah, so then depending on the size of the field, it'll vary in terms of the number of guys I list. But in a full field event, usually we're looking at, between 30 to 40 guys that I list here is going to be all my highest owned guys and my personal exposure to those guys. And in that player pool, I will highlight guys that I think are cash game eligible. A lot of times we end up with like 12 to 15 guys that I think you should kind of be building or looking at for cash games. I will have a cash core report though as well with the 3 guys that I think you definitely need to play. You can come back to the player pool and fill out the rest of the lineup with guys that I have tagged as cash plays. But in this section, it'll be my player pool with my exposures, cash game plays highlighted, very easy, straightforward piece of content.
Yeah. And just to touch on that quickly, someone asked today about like FanDuel stuff. Again, remember, as we say, like Hoop always says this, our goal is always to continue to improve and add on. And that's what we're going to do. So not only do we have FanDuel projections and ownership coming, but we also will have other stuff covered for that as well. I know FanDuel, sometimes people say, oh, they've given up on their product. I even chime in on that a little bit sometimes and say it feels like they have. But I will say at the majors and stuff like that, they have some really big tournaments. You can win 100K up top. So having that extra bonus coverage will definitely be good. And then for Hoop's point there, just so even in the beginning, if you want to be able to go on and see the cash plays in the core cash that Hoop sets up, it is for DraftKings, but FanDuel's pricing extremely soft. So you can just take the cash plays Hoop likes there and then go to his player pool and find the guys that he's selected in green and be able to fit them in and find yourself a pretty good lineup. If you're just taking in the free show, that stuff, and putting it all together, it's really a winning combination to be able to get after it, I think, Hoop. So anything you want to add on that piece? I mean, someone just asked what's better, but
yeah, what's better, your golf DFS game or your actual DFS game? That's a very easy answer, because I'm not one of those people that is gonna tell you I go out and shoot in the 70s and then you see me golf and I'm in the 90s. I'm about 100 guy, right? If I break 100, I'm feeling real good about myself. So not a great golfer. Best round, I'd say probably right around like 90-ish. So I'm not a great golfer, better at DFS PGA than real golf. So that's an easy answer. And my lawn game trumps it all. So
yeah, it's like the Greens at Augusta National. Speaking of golf, keep it on track, go to the Masters this year, maybe that'd be fun. So, talking about that, I think that's kind of my other angle that I want to talk about. The slate plan is the one I control. I mean, this is going to be a couple of cores, this is the other thing too. People, core plays, they've been around forever. Like every site does them. Other sites call them top plays, things like that. There's lots of different ways you can angle it, but all it really is, and we've talked about this from day one, we know there's people out there that just don't have a lot of time to dig in and sift through all these things all week. That's how I originally got the idea for doing the tidbits threads on Twitter. People said, look, I can't keep track. There's 20 podcasts. There's 10 shows. There's all these things on different sites, all these things that I can't figure out. So I was trying to compile them and put them all together for people. That's the same thing here. If you like the content that myself, Hoop, others do for free, you're obviously going to love this. And it's at a very cheap price point to get in versus what the competitors charge for basically the same thing. So that's kind of the angle there. The slate plan will have couple cores that I'm thinking about that if you want to try and angle at it, you could get after it. You could ask me about them in the Discord. Like maybe is this one better for this one better for that? If you want to know how I'm thinking about them, I'll explain it in the slate plan. I'll talk a ton about game theory, correlation, if it's a weather week, maybe leverage across that, just angles to attack the actual slate from, not just from this. Like that's why I always get a kick out of that question. I know it's a fun question, but like I don't get to golf as much. I'm in Canada. There's not going to be a lot of golf weeks for me to go out, but also I don't think you have to know anything about any sport to be able to win at it at DFS. I've proven that myself to be able to go out and have success in these DFS sports. You don't need to know about it. You don't need to know a lot as much as you need to know how to attack the actual slate at hand. And as we talked about, not just our differentiator with price, but with the ability to go and attack what is the industry doing? How can we beat that? If you're not thinking like that, you're probably going to be behind in these sports. And with high variance in a sport like golf, that's just another angle to attack it from. What are others doing? Where's the chalk landing? What are the chalk roster? It's not just about the chalk. What does the chalk roster construction look like? And then I love this one. Tambo's tidbits let me spend more time. That's literally what we do here. That's what it's been about since day one. That's what it's always going to be about. People make fun of it. I've heard other people say more is more, and that's fine. I mean, again, we have friends at other spots that work there. We have some that don't think we're friends, whatever. All these things, people do and say what they want to say. Our focus is always going to be on SHIPIT Nation. It's always going to be on our members, our community, getting the best deal for everybody, helping people out. Others can say it. A lot of people saying it, though, literally just jumped in the ring this year. Hoop and I have been doing this forever. Our reputation, SHIPIT Nation, reputation. The credibility factors there have been doing it forever, been saying the same stuff forever, and been standing by what we put out forever. And everyone's, oh, you're selling so much. We're brand new. We're 7 months into the industry, and we're trying to disrupt, and we're doing it, and it's working, and people are loving it. So it is what it is. If you want to be a part of it, the time is now to join the nation. One other thing I want to talk about, Hoop, is definitely Showdown. I mean, this is a huge opportunity, and it gets overlooked. And I think even now, a lot of people say, like, oh, everyone's doing the weather angle this morning. Everyone's on that. But they forget, you and I have seen it time and time again doing those shows, that we're still in a bubble. And it still is an angle that you can attack from. We've had a ton of Showdown success. We've seen members have a ton of Showdown success. It's a great Showdown game to play. And I know a lot of other players, pros too, that I talked to at these live finals that said they got better ROIs in Showdown by far than they do in Classic Slate, because it's just a different angle of attack. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. I'm just saying them bringing that up, I think, is pretty interesting. Like, it makes sense when you think it's not everyone just doing the same thing. And we'll cover that as well.
Yeah, it's a whole nother dynamic, a whole nother opportunity to go in there and win some money playing PGA DFS. And a lot of people, I think people view Showdown as just like an add-on type thing. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to play it for entertainment. But really, Showdown provides some of the best opportunities to get an advantage in PGA DFS, because even if you think you have the best weather advantage going into a full week, it can fall apart quickly. I mean, it can vary. If there's one rain delay and you're not anticipating a rain delay, it flips the advantage. Well, in Showdown, it's much easier to find the advantages. It's much easier, to latch on to certain situations and take advantage of it. And we saw it last season, because, again, that was a big focus of ours to start when we started SHIPIT Nation, was to make sure that we put an emphasis on the Showdown content, not just saying, oh, here are a couple plays to play, but really hone in and take advantage of some of these situations, whether it be weather, whether it be the way the course is playing. Sometimes we see the course just plays easier in the morning or the afternoons, whatever it may be, gives us an opportunity to really take advantage of that. And that is always relayed via through our content and in Discord as well. And we talk about it a lot of times last year in the chat. Hey fellas, are we going all in on this weather advantage for round 2, round 3? And, we commit to it and go with it. And sometimes it's a last minute decision, right? I mean, sometimes we don't know, right up until lock what we're going to do. But that's why it's very important to be in that Discord, because we're always there leading up to lock, answering those questions. Are we going 5-1 on the weather advantage? Are we going all in? That sort of thing. So I think we did a really good job of that last season, really taking advantage of certain situations in Showdown. And, it's something we're going to continue to obviously do going into this season, but it's going to be a full year of it, not just half a PGA season. It's going to be the full season all the way through.
Yeah, I got to give our guy DD, Double D, shout out here. He's already in the golf streets with us now too, obviously with us through football. I think a lot of people are going to convert over and do this just because it's pretty obvious. Like I said, the ability just to swap from one, what I call a weekly sport, to a second weekly sport, even though in both golf and NFL, you do have Showdown and you're in the mix. It definitely makes a lot of sense. And then got to give a huge shout out to our guy, Go Collect. It says, Showdown has been my most profitable DFS sport aside from BB. For those that don't know what BB is, it's best ball, NFL best ball streets. Our guy, Go Collect, shipped it's the smaller drafters one. It was $30,000 up top. Just massive,
awesome.
Massive score.
Yeah.
So congrats to you, Go Collect. I know we had a lot of fun with that. We are going to have some drafters playoff best ball shows coming up. We had one last week to get the swing, get into the mix with Title and Marley. It's right here on this channel. And then we're going to have more with Hoop and Ham and Marley and guys throughout the next couple of weeks.
It was Title and Hoop. But I mean, we get.
That's right. Sorry, Marley. He's next too. That's right. So either way, congrats again to Go Collect. And then one quick thing I saw on that, and you just mentioned, Hoop, was the Showdown shows. We will still have our round 2 and round 3 Showdown shows on the Mayo Media Network. Those will be TBA, to be announced, We're going to wait and see because some of those may actually end up having to be Friday or Saturday morning shows, just the way these California swings and Hawaii stuff goes. So we will let you know on that, but that will again be on the site. You can always find our shows for free right here. There is no secret shows to go find on the site under PGA, all the stuff that you'd be getting here, the Showdown core report and more, all the breakdown of everything else that we went through already. If you guys have any questions, throw them into the chat. We'll take on any questions now. And then Hoop, I want to talk a little bit about the prize giveaways. So we've got the $200 one and done to give away to somebody from the Twitter space that brought that into the mix. We'll get them into that. If you can find a winner for that, I will note quickly just on the breakdown here of the next spot, the setup of what we're going to be giving away. So real quickly, just so you guys know, we're doing this just like when we launched the original site, but we're going to add a extra caveat to it. So by next week, we'll announce it probably on a Thursday, I guess, after the Sony Open locks. We'll remind you again next Tuesday when we do Hoop and myself, 3 p.m. Eastern for the Sony Open show. On Thursday, the prices will go to $39 and $239. Pretty straightforward here. You get the week to get to it. Weekly won't change. It's $14 to try it out. No Discord. Honestly, at this point, I would recommend still try it out if you want. But I would say, at least get all sports, $24, or just get up to the monthly. It's up to you. The PGA 10 code, real quick, last time bringing this one up for now, just to show up, PGA 10 gets you 10% off your first monthly package or season package. And I do want to be clear on this again, and that way, if you have questions, you could throw them in there. It means you're going to get $3.40 off your monthly to drop it down, and then you're going to go renew at $34 because you got in on the first week. Next week, when it goes to $39 for the Amex on the week of the 15th of January, you'll be able to get $39 for $3.90, 10% off, but you'll renew at $39. So not only will your first payment be more, but your renewal will be at $39. So you have to get in now if you're doing it. That's the key. Lastly, the season long. It's $199 right now, but using code PGA10 gets you in for $179. That gets you PGA through September 1st. 8 months of content works out to about $5 per event, $4.50, I think is what it ends up costing you. This gets you in the Discord. It gets you everything we talked about for the entire season. Next week, when it goes to $239, you'll still be able to get $23.90 off, but you won't, and there's nothing to renew at. That'll just be the price. You won't be able to get near the $179, so keep that in mind. So just a note for anyone willing to watch this show, follow us on the social media accounts and see this code, you're getting it. Some people will not watch this show and pay $34 or $199. We tried. We're out there. We've advertised this everywhere. We're letting you know loud and clear. But just real quick on the contests, the basics of it are this. Anyone who signs up for the weekly today will have a chance to win a monthly. We're going to pick one weekly winner next week to get upgraded to the monthly. Anyone who signs up for a monthly is going to get one winner from that pool will be upgraded to a season. And anyone who buys a season, and again, these odds will probably be better for you because much more people are going to buy the monthly than the seasonal. It's just the way these businesses work, the way these communities are set up. People join for most affordable or whatever it may be. But someone who buys the season will get upgraded to the $599 all access package. We're going to have tons of contests for our members. We have a members one and done contest right now. Our current members pricing stays locked in. Everything's good, but we're still going to have contests for our members. But we'll announce this now as well quickly too. For anybody who signs up for the all access weekly, will get bumped to a monthly all access. Because some people right now are going to watch us and say, honestly, I'm sold, but I'm just going to get the all access package and then not be able to win. Anybody who signs up for the all access monthly will win a 6-month package. And anybody who signs up for the 6-month can win the annual. Anybody who signs up for the annual will be refunded. We'll give one person who signs up for that a refund. So no matter what, you're going to have a chance to win. We'll have a big contest for our members coming up for Founding Family only at first for the Waste Management Phoenix Open and another for our current members at that time. We have a big event coming up for the Waste Management Phoenix Open. But before I get to that, Hoop, I'll talk to you about, let's talk about the winner first for the one and done, the $200 ticket.
Yeah, very excited about the giveaways here. I mean, it's exciting time, and we'll be announcing those winners obviously next week. All the upgrades and whatnot. Great time, obviously, to get in. But the winner for the one and done. Let's go through these comments. It's going to be our guy Trent on X, I guess. Trent, his name is at John Sydney 0. So that'll be the
type
winner.
it into the box how it is over there, Hoop, and then he can know. But definitely, congrats to Trent. That's awesome. So Trent will win the $200 one and done entry to the Mayo Fantasy Golf Championships. One and done, 80,000 up top in that one. And Ross, our guy, I will clarify for you on this one. I posted it right now. It'll be live until lock on Sony Open for the first, on this week for the Century, for the first 200 people to get in, the winner of the contest this week. So our girl Kim always says, I want to win my contest. I don't want it to be random. Make it more fair. I said, okay. So we hooked her up. And just to note on Ross's question, if you go in there, I think it's pinned right now. If not, it will be right after this, but there's not many people in it yet, but it will be broken down. So the winner, it's all about shipping it here. Whoever ships it will win the $200 ticket to the one and done. We'll get a second winner out. That's for member only. So if you sign up today and get in the Discord and are one of the first 200 people to get in that contest and win it, ship it, you'll be able to get that one and done ticket as well. But our first winner is Trent. Go ahead on this one. What do we got here? He's muted. He can't have a good day, though. We're not talking.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So what if I have an NFL package and want PGA still after NFL? Well, we don't offer NFL only package. So if you have the NFL package, you have the all access package, which would give you access to PGA. PGA, if you have the all access monthly, 6 month, annual, you have access to everything on the site. So you have nothing to worry about. So we didn't have any just NFL packages, assuming you should have full access.
Yeah, and to clarify that, because we've been transparent since the start, like obviously you can go back and watch our original launch video of the site. There is people that got in for our first week only Founding Family all access deal of $49. When this golf package, even at 34, even when it goes to 39, you would never give that up. That's, again, we told you we would protect you on that price. You're going to be paying $10 more a month, but get everything across the board, where someone's paying $39 for just golf. We just framed up why that's still the best deal out there. But for you would not move off that, even $59. The only way I could see it, I guess, is if somebody's on a $69 a month and wanted it for football, and that was just the only show in town, they may be able to say, okay, now I only want golf in the off season. You can go off the 69, hop back in on the 34 and just get golf. That's up to you, but you'd still be better off to pick up the season package and pay like $22 a month is what it works out to. Go ahead here, Hoop. I mean, it's right on the page. Double mute today, too.
Man, this is incredible stuff to end the show. More talking for you if I'm on mute the whole time, right? The price is right here. This is the pricing for PGA only. Maybe you can click over and show for the full access.
That's what he says. So much for all for one. No, it's there. We just now have it where if you want PGA only, because we have enough people who said we're in it for PGA, you can still get in for $69 less 10% and get in for a month. You can still get in for $539 for the entire site, for everything. $49 a month is what it is at $599. It's like $45 a month for every sport for the entire year. The longer you get in for, the better the price, but we've never went to that. Yeah. And it's fine. Again, the trolls will always come out. That's fine. We don't care. Like you obviously haven't paid attention or followed along. Go look at the success of the community, the fun that people are having. You're the only
if that was a joke, that was like a really funny joke.
Really bad joke.
Seriously.
Yeah. And then this is it says just a question about the one and done won't fill up before the end. The 200 player free roll, it's whoever can get into it. It only lets you put a maximum of 200 on DraftKings. That's the way we do it so that it's fair. The first 200 members to get in. And then the way that works is because it's for this week, the one and done doesn't start until next week. So we will know the winner of the Century one and done member only contest by this Sunday evening. We'll be able to get them in there and get them set up so that they can go in and be in the one and done starting at the Sony Open. $200 buy-in, 80,000 up top, 670 spots, I believe is the number. 670 or 690 get paid, and then you're good to go for the entire season at that. So that's going to be an awesome one as well. Is there a way to pay for the year but have the payments split up monthly or even every 3 months? We don't have that right now. Again, basically, our annual was $599. even when you got it for $299 for half of it, it's still cheaper right now for when we're talking just this show on the PGA season. What that looks like, it's $179 you can get in for. So it's a lot less than what that would be half of the annual anyway. Justin, but by the way, reach out if you really want that. Just reach out. I'll try and find a way to make it work for you. Justin says, any thoughts on doing live content at all? The main thing about that is it's going to be tournament dependent. I don't care as much about like if we have the data for it or all that. Like, again, I don't think there's this crazy edge because it is tougher when you don't know how the rounds have went and things like that. But in general, if the contests are big enough and it makes sense, we may be interested, but I won't get it confused here for you. Like if it's $50K to first, $5K to second, and $200 to 10th, just to say they have a huge contest, we'll talk about it in Discord. We'll cover whatever you want, answer any questions that you have. But I think that's probably the difference. Like it depends on what we see come with the market. And our guy Rin knows, a great member, always there. Hashtag SHIPIT says, who gets mad at people offering the lowest price on the market and making sure you know the value they offer? It's literally a launch show about pricing. So I'm with you, my friend. Same goes to this.
That part is that like
nothing as of
like,
now.
You're complaining about it, but you're watching and posted 4 comments like that. Just that's sad times. But we're not interested. We're not interested in that stuff. Obviously, in terms of live, like it's we got to see on the prize pools. Like if DraftKings makes a commitment to the live tour and solid contests, we'll adjust on the fly as we always do. But like last season, it was like just nothing. It was like non-existent. So we got to see what DraftKings offers.
Yeah. We'll definitely do that. Same for Euro is a little bit different. Euros, there's, some great stuff, people covering it, things like that out there right now. Again, we said it from the start. We'll bring in what we know and what we cover, and that's what we do. If we have somebody come in for Euro content maybe throughout the year, then it could always be something we add on. Like we always say, we'll continue to improve and add on, but there's going to be lots more where this came from, and there's going to be anything that we add that's content related will be brought in to here. Tools-wise, again, if it's a tool like some of the tools we currently have, will definitely be included. If there's something bigger that comes out down the stretch, possibly, then that will be an additional discussion at that time. And we'll bring another launch show that comes with that. Hoop, anything else you want to talk about, man, before we get out of here?
Overwhelming support already. I mean, just thank you to everyone, honestly, for trusting us and tuning into the show, obviously, but trusting us moving forward to be your provider for PGA content. Like I'm kind of blown away by the support so far. So again, appreciate everyone. Looking forward to this season, our first full season of PGA content, taking you all the way through every single week. It's no joke. I mean, it's every single week there's a PGA event that we'll be covering for you moving forward. And we're both very passionate about it. Yes, we love all the other sports, big into NFL, big into MMA now, which has become one of my favorites, MLB. But man, PGA is has been a passion of mine for quite some time. And you and I together on the PGA product, it's been a fun ride so far, and I'm really looking forward to the future. I think feed off each other quite well, and we have our points where we contrast, but also we come together on a lot of points for PGADFS. So it's a really exciting pairing, and again, looking forward to getting this season started with you again.
Yeah, like Hoop said, a lot of interest already. So we definitely appreciate everybody supporting us. We think our team is strong as what it is. That's why it's been the setup that we have. You guys know my passion for it. Been doing it for years. There's 40 events coming up, and I'm more than excited than ever. I'm taking on more shows. Excited to partner with Degenerate 75 and do that show. Going to be back in the studio with Mayo starting next week. Can't wait. Hoop and I back for a full season for once. We only had since May last year. Now we get to do a full. And to Hoop's point, sometimes people have said like I'll go back to that one. I want to say this one.
Yeah.
Some people have literally taken our Showdown stuff, put it together, and come out with the shipper and said, I just took what you both said and popped it in, and it ended up working out. And that was a great way to do it. I definitely think you could do that on the main slate as well. Adding a guy like Lee, bringing his course fit rankings, the value report. He's in on the tier rankings now too. People are going to be throwing bets and stuff into our members channel there where you can put in our sports betting channel. So lots of that. And to answer Mike's question, we mentioned it, but you will get the Discord with monthly or with the season. It will just be for the PGA Discord only, but that's what it should be. You're getting exactly what your setup is, and that's how we can keep the prices the way we do. The lean team, less is more, bringing you the best possible that we can. Like Jack says, small team, easy content to digest, less is more.
That's the key.
And then, yeah, if anyone needs a season long, Kevin mentioned that. We let him throw it in. A great member of ours, Kevin, good man out there. He's got his stuff in there with the Junkies League. Love to see that. I was trying to grab this one too. My guy, Dwayne. Shout out to Dwayne. I meant to hit you up yesterday, man. I got a little busy, but Happy New Year to you, my friend. Was good seeing you at King of the Beach. Look forward to seeing you. Another guy, just sharp, super good player in our Discord all the time, having fun, shipping plenty across all sports. Anything more that we missed there, Hoop? We got to get out of here. Top of the hour.
No, man, excited for the season to get kicked off. It's going to be a fun ride. And again, we appreciate all the support, the people that tune into our shows, people that, have selected one of our packages. Just appreciate everyone and, looking to continue the momentum here rolling into the new year and new season.
Yeah, definitely excited for it. Our first sport where we can trial this with, I think it's probably only really, again, I can't say for sure we do what the people want, but I think golf is a good spot to soft test this. And then probably when football comes back around, we can adjust the pricing some. It's obviously a little bit different for that, but I mean, just in general, still want to focus on that. The chat's asking about the hoodies. Hoop, we got to see maybe more hoodies. It still is winter. We sold out of the first run that people were looking at here. We obviously have it under the merch if you go over here, but if you still want one of these, you can put the pre-order in, and then maybe we'll see about bringing another color to the table, but lots more to go on. One thing I did forget to mention, I'm going to say it quickly just here at the end, was about the waste management. Degenerate 75, his team, and then the entire SHIPIT team will be down at the Waste Management Phoenix Open this year. Going to make it a fun event where we're going to post up certain places. I believe we just solidified the spots, but one night will be at the casino, one night will be at the Pop Stroke, and then, of course, we'll be at the event multiple days. Sunday watching the Super Bowl somewhere at a watch party. But if you guys are going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, or want to go down there, you still have over a month to plan. The Waste Management Phoenix Open, February 8th to the 12th. We'll be down there for sure, and you guys can come meet up with us there. We'll have some open nights with some drinks and some food and things like that where we're covering it all. You guys can come down and hang out with us, but it's going to be an awesome trip for that. Anything else, Hoop? I thought do you have one more thing you want to add, or you're good?
Good to roll, baby.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Reach out to us if you guys have any questions. You can find me on X at ToeTagginTambo. Hit me up there if you guys are a member. Hit us up in the Discord if you have questions. info@shipitnation.com. That's going to do it for this one, guys. For Hoop, for myself, ToeTagginTambo, let's ship it.